Alright, yeah. So, yeah, we'll do a matchup chart for the new season. What season is this? 3? 2? I don't know anymore. I don't care. So this is my old one right here, right? You guys don't see this one? This is the one I used to have for season 2. Where I personally thought like a lot of Sin's innate flaws actually caused him to lose a lot of games to himself. He was self-defeating in my opinion. Like the people could always like people would be like complain, oh Geo, there's too much interaction between the opponent. Well, for like Sin, like the interaction was literally like everywhere, right? So you could never actually fully play the game, right? In season 2, it was really hard to get the opponent to like respect the way he played, and everything was really expensive. You never had momentum after a knockdown. It was pretty rough. It was rough living back there in season 2. And so yeah, this is basically kind of how I feel about in season 2. I didn't really think that there was a clean break, but I did feel pretty okay with a lot of the matchups, right? Like the only notably bad ones, for like in my opinion, were Testament and Axel, and then and Leo and Ramlethal. These 4 I thought were actually really hard for Sin in season 2, right? Testament basically would just mash 2K the whole time. And then Sin would just be really sad. That's all he would do, and I was like, this sucks. Axel, I'm pretty not sure if this matchup got easier for me. I'm Lord, the jazzy music is too loud. Right? So Axel was pretty weird because for the same reason that like Testament was really annoying, his 2K would actually just beat everything. And I've talked about this many times in all my videos about how Sin has a really big problem for hitting people like that are low profile. Just bunches don't hit it. They don't hit it. Like for whatever reason, just like the majority of his moves just do not have the ability to hit low to the ground. It's really annoying. Leo was really bad because basically he would just DP you and then just win. And because Sin had so many holes in his strings that you would just die and you'd be miserable. You were basically always forced to end with a beak driver follow-up. And then he would take a dash block after that, and then you're just like, well, I guess I'm guessing, right? It just never felt good. Then Ramlethal, she's stupid. Outside of that, I thought the rest of the cast was pretty decent. Like it didn't feel bad. A lot of times I would consider the matchup fun, right? Because I think like even if the matchup isn't necessarily good, if I enjoy the matchup, I'm okay with it, right? So, but yeah, let's go for season 3, right? We'll update this for season 3. There's Johnny. All right. So how are we gonna do this? How am I gonna illustrate my ability to do this now? Because do I just reset this? Can I reset it? How does one reset this? Wait, is there a reset? Oh. This is how little I've done with it. Whatever. So here's basically what I'm gonna do. All the matchups that I think Sin win, I could do probably pretty easily. I think this one, Potemkin. Is that it? Okay, QK, thank you, man. One more follower. Wait, 2 more followers. 2 more followers. Did I lose a follow? Wait, Doug, did you actually remove yourself? I need 2 more followers. I need 2 more. I'm so close. Wait, no, I need 1 more. I'm gonna sell my soul for this follower. Okay, good. It didn't update immediately on my Twitch. Anyways, so I think he wins these 2. I know I have a few. What do you guys think? Who else does Sin beat? Like I would say that for these 2, Sin definitely has an advantage in. Oh yeah, Bedman. I feel like Sin just can really dismantle these faster or these slower characters. Are there any other characters that are like this? Like I know for a fact that Sin, in my humble opinion, beats these three characters. Like, just straight up beats them. Zato? I don't think he necessarily beats Zato. Big sad. So I actually put these two characters right here in a separate category. Like, these three, I have a lot of fun fighting with Sin. Just because Sin has, like, a lot of strong, fun interaction. So I used to actually have a separate category that was just called Fun Time. I think it's a fun time. Because, like, once you understand how these matchups work, it's pretty engaging for Sin to play in. Because, you know, once you know how to use like, how to use the follow-ups and stuff, like, DPing a minion, or DPing, like, Zato, or the cubes, or whatever, can be really interesting. It's like, it lets you be really creative. Sin versus Sin. Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty even matchup, Sin versus Sin. And so, I mean, like, I'll put these, like, I put these in fun for me. But so, like, I would probably still put these as, for sure, in this season, they're probably even. It's probably even right now, I think. Jacko might be slightly favored for Jacko. Only because 2K and 2D are really kind of obnoxious to deal with. Right? Like, you have to... They keep 6 feet cubes in the elk and they hit... I wish that would work reliably, but it doesn't. The fact that it's not quite like Soul, where elk hunt is the saving... Like, where, like, you don't have Vortex to just beat everything. So it doesn't always work out for you in the end. Oh, wait, it's also pretty fun too. I like these four. I think these four have been, like, just in general, I have a lot of fun fighting these matchups. And so, just because I enjoy them, I think they're pretty even for me. If elk beat blue and yellow cubes, it'd be winning. Maybe. I don't know if that's even necessarily true, because his defense is so high. It's hard, because, like, when you watch, like, a character, like, when you watch Mochi versus Gobo, right? Like, Mochi's, like, Soul more or less has everything you need to beat Asuka, and he still didn't come out ahead, right? And it's hard to, like, really explain what went wrong for Mochi. And I wouldn't say Sin is as good as Soul. But, like, I feel, but, that's what the way the matchup, so yeah. So, yeah, these four are pretty fun, just in general, right? There's a lot of fun interaction between you and Sin beats his own ass. Yeah, he does, for free. I mean, it's my Sin versus other people's sins, all right? And it's free. If you're not my red Sin, you're free. That's what it's coming down to. By the way, these are not, like I said, like, let's just go with, I would say these are evenish for Sin, for sure. This is probably also pretty even. Let's put them actually here. I don't actually think so. So I think this is probably not so bad anymore for Sin. The 5k nerf is actually pretty, like, noticeable now. Being able to actually go under 5k is pretty generous right now. And so now you're actually able to, like, get Sin, or not Sin, Nago to press blinds that are actually, like manageable. Can Sin low profile Jonathan's Far Slash? Yes, you can. So if you're talking about Johnny's, right? So the thing about Johnny's Far Slash, is it a 9 frame? It's a 9 frame, right? It's like Sin's move doesn't low profile till frame 10. So if it's anything faster than that, it's pretty hard to actually low profile because the move is just fast enough to hit him out of it. That's what I said. Yeah. I actually don't know if Sin beats Johnny. Maybe. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard for me to kind of explore this one. I don't think he wins it. I think it's probably even. And maybe not his slight flavor. I hate the Johnny matchup. In all honesty, I think once Johnny players get a little bit better with their counter confirms, and I think he will actually just start murdering Sin. Both snowball like crazy. I could see this being not a winning matchup for Sin. Also, this category doesn't exist anymore for Sin, as far as I can tell. There's no bad matchups anymore. Like, there's nothing in this category, I think, where Sin just loses outright anymore. Like, I could just straight up delete that. Like, I really could just delete it. Oh, this is probably fine. Faust just doesn't... I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Faust isn't strong enough. But as far as I can tell, Sin seems to do just fine against Faust. It's nothing like outlandish going on for Sin, but the matchup doesn't feel like very complicated, right? Just the fact that you have DP to just really just because like once you get the hang of playing Sin, you should be able to react to Faust doing jump 2K, and then you can DP that shit, and then like I don't know. I mean, I react to it, and I feel like the match got a lot easier. It's still really hard though, because the ground approach is really obnoxious, because like 2P, 5P are really good at just keeping Sin out. And I feel like where Sin typically has a hard time is when players start doing a lot of non-committal buttons to keep you out, right? Which is why I'll talk about Bridget and stuff, or like, you know, like Chip, Kai. Oh yeah, Mike's probably easy. The match is pretty easy. If you react to jump 2K, I think Faust is pretty easy. Yeah, man, just do it. Just do it. Just get good. Just get good. Just get good. Just train yourself. Chip deserves death. Alright, so we did these three right now. These are probably fine. May's probably fine. Ino's probably fine. Soul's probably fine. Geo's probably fine. Hanji's probably fine. Not fine? Well, I'm thinking about this. I actually want to... Is okay even? Yeah. Yeah. Like, if I had to, like, put it... I think... How do you feel about Milia's match? She's fine. I think, she didn't change a whole lot, so, like, it doesn't feel like she got any better. I mean, of course she got Wild Assault and stuff, but I feel like she's not any better. And so, like, okay, well, let me go in order the characters I added. May's pretty fine right now, but overall, I think her changes made her less explodey for you, right? Like, she's not like a walking barrel of destruction anymore. So that just gives opportunities for Sin to play the game, and that's typically all you need. Because May has no D, right? Like, she has no defensive options. So once Sin's on top of her, she's kind of just like miserable. Oh, also, this should probably not be actually okay. Soul should be, these two are probably up here. Just for theoretical. I'll talk about that in a second when I get there. So I mean, I haven't lost to a May in quite a long time. I really don't. So like, it's hard for me to say if maybe there are better May players out there that are just I'm not playing. But like, as far as I could tell, she can't just run away with the game anymore. She has to play. And that's all I really need to like just knock her down. And I feel like a lot of times May players don't have the D to really stand up against Sin. They're too busy trying to hold up back or something, so like they just die once they get knocked over. Ino, I don't know. Ino, I feel like could be I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, it's probably, this is like the only way I can describe this one is this one feels pretty even in ways, right? Like she doesn't have the mobility to really kind of just avoid Sin, and so she has to typically just go in the air and just do dives if she wants to get anything neutral out of there, because Sin's new buns are pretty contestable. But I don't, yeah, like, it's probably fine. I mean, just having a DP, you fought the #1 man, you think the matchup, yeah, I don't think it's very complicated right now. The new mechanics and super nerd. She's arguably a worse character. she's probably more fun but worse. Which I think that she sorely needed, because she was a little bit too, I just hit bind, I kill you now. Right? She really didn't have much of an identity. A lot of people got better. Well, no, she definitely got worse. Or maybe two. Like, the big thing for me is having 5k 6H no longer do, like, 6H no longer floating is a big deal. It's a big nerf to her. Because, like, she was always getting big return off of those 6Hs, but now that doesn't happen anymore. And so, like, what she was able to do was just spam a really low committal 5k, right? That move is so crazy. And then it would just go into 6H, and then you just get a big combo off of that, and it was really undeserved. And so she now has ranges where she's okay, and now she has ranges where she's actually a threat, right? And the thing is, all those ranges where May's okay, Sin excels at, right? Like, if she wants to do 5k, like, she's not gonna get anything, right? Like, she gets 6k, 5k, or she'll do like 5k 6H into Dolphin or something. The return isn't there. It's not scary. So Sin can typically bully that mid-range hard enough that May will fall behind. That's how I see it. There might be some details I'm missing, but like, as far as I can tell, that's how it kind of happens. Is that if May fights at the mid-range, she kind of has to bank on Dolphins for all of her offense to make it work out. All right, Geo. This character is kind of annoying right now. I want to say this is probably even. I don't think it's bad. Right, like, the neutral is pretty iffy for both characters because, you know, Elkunt does a lot of work on Geo. It's hard because, like, I feel like typically a lot of Geo players I fight, they always try to go in. I don't know what would happen if Geo tries to keep Sin out. Which I think she can do using like 2D or something. 2D and just kind of like poking with 2k and stuff. But as far as I can tell currently, I feel like it's not a bad it's not super bad for like Sin. It feels pretty normal. So Milia, I feel like this matchup is more that she takes a little bit too long to kill Sin, and Sin just deletes her randomly. So it's not like I think like Sin beats the neutral. Like, he can contend at neutral, and the thing is, what you're doing is that you're just contending for damage at that point, right? She's gonna hit you for like 10, you're gonna hit her for 100. That's kind of what the thing, that feel is. So like the matchup will feel bad, but you'll still get the win because you're eventually just gonna guess right. That's how I see it with Milia. And yeah, I know like a lot of times like people like are complaining about like what do you do about Milia going in the air? Once you get the hang of like kind of just using her jump K, or like how to position yourself better, or how she kind of wants to move, you realize you do have like the buttons with like being 5p jump K being like the normal, like notable one, right? And then just being able to just be quickly like just moving across the ground and stuff. And there's options to deal with her, but all of these options are not going to be like, well, like it solves all of your problems. What it is going to do though is that it makes the matchup not free for Milia. Milia has to work for it, and that's all you need. Anji, so in the old season, I thought like Anji actually kind of beat Sin pretty hard. But right now, it has to be like even matchup just because I feel like characters are going out some kind of similar like shenanigans. I guess one thing that's kind of really funny is that like the way I play kind of gets neutered because of like random spins. Because if you DP, if a spin hits a DP, you just get destroyed. Like, they just do 1 trillion damage on you. But his buttons aren't that terrifying. They're about the same as Sin's, so you could always just go contend, at neutral with him. Not having a good low, like Sin doesn't have a nice quick low to kind of just really kind of like humble Anji. So that's a bit of a nuisance, but I don't think a lot of characters have a good lows. You think it's Sin favored? Do you think so? I wouldn't go that far to put Anji. I mean, maybe. I'm gonna leave it here. I'm gonna leave it here for now. Oh yeah, let's do these ones now. I just realized these rows are a little bit confusing. Because it's like backwards. It's like Sin wins these. It's like backwards because these ones in theory should be like up here. we'll fix it when we get there. All right. But yeah. I think I'll probably keep Axel up here. So I think Sin and Testament go even right about now. A lot of it is just that Testament just isn't a better, like, didn't get much better. So like the zoning's fine, but the zoning isn't gonna kill Sin. Like, as long as you're careful about how you improve, like you choose to get in, you're only gonna take like a little bit of damage here and there, and then it's just a matter of time before you get a bully like Testament in the corner. And now that like 5H like locks them into the mix, Sin or like Testament has to just deal with it, right? I guess the only thing you kind of have to really worry about is just kind of figuring out if they're gonna be matching 6P or a lot. And if they are, you just elk hunt them all day, bring out the counter hits, and you're probably fine. So yeah, I mean, I can't. If you have any questions specifically about like a matchup, like hey, how do you deal with that or whatever, let me know and I'll bring it up. Because like that's probably a lot easier. Because like in my current state of like mind, I just go, oh, I feel pretty confident in this matchup, which is I don't feel like there's anything to worry about. Oh, this is probably fine now too. This is probably all right. All right. So this looks pretty decent to me. All right. So Chip, I just don't think that you can ever hit this character. So like, what's the difference between like this character and like Milia? That's like the hard part. Is that like Chip kind of fucks you up right now, and so it should be in bad. Alright, fine. Since it's been migrated to bad, we'll talk about that when we get there. So yeah, Chip wall breaks from anywhere. A lot of save chums. But like the thing about Chip, that's like in my mind. So like when I do a matchup chart, like where I go, oh maybe like when I as a player, right, I immediately kind of think about the shortcomings that I'm gonna have to deal with already, and how I'm gonna circumvent it, right? Like what do I need to leverage against the character to win, right? When you fight Chip, there's nothing to leverage. Like you're kind of just like hitting buttons and hoping they hit, and sometimes that's all you need. You just need to get that one hit to knock him over, and then you can win off of it, right? Like that's all you gotta do is just get that one hit. But I shit you not, like this matchup would have been really bad if the Sin's Far Slash didn't get so buffed in this game. Because Sin's Far Slash is so much better. Simply, you don't win neutral against this or Chip. You really don't. The one thing that does help a lot is that you could start going from a random elk hunt, right? Like that's kind of like a big thing for across the board against all matchups, is that a lot of players, like, you can't really just react to elk hunts at a certain distance. So you're gonna have to, your opponent's like always constantly having to play actively against you because of the constant threat of elk. Yeah, it's basically what it is. It's so good at robbing that like that's why like a lot of these matchups that are like that were probably really bad have been changed so much is because you have such a reliable way of starting your offense, right? And not even just saying all your points belong into or not elk hunt, but like because everything else is so much better, right? You have a better approach with far slash. You have elk hunt to also keep them from doing shenanigans, right? He's Goldlewis, but better. He is a much better character than Goldlewis right now, in my opinion. Goldlewis, I think, got hit pretty hard by the system mechanics. And so, I mean, there might be strategies to deal with him, but like I feel like a really properly timed blitz on Goldlewis, like especially since the typhoons, most of the typhoons are reactable, right? So like what I typically tend to do is I just hold down back, and then when I see any typhoon that's reactable, I blitz it. And so, and it typically like Sin's gonna win neutral, and so if Goldlewis, when it's Goldlewis's turn, he can't, like, he's always pushed back a mile away because of blitz. It kind of makes him have to take so many turns like to try to get him, like, he never gets to fully play the game, in my opinion. Yeah, like these three are pretty bad in my opinion for these three characters. Like Sin kind of just like stomps them. But that's why I uploaded that one match set, like where it's me. I fought Arrow and Arrow beat the shit out of me. There's just definitely a playstyle that you need to have when you play with Goldlewis. But for the most part, like I think it's Sin favored. So yeah, but you guys are distracting me. Chip, yeah. He's just really hard to hit. It's just really, really, really hard to hit reliably. Like, your game plan will never be consistent. There's no way to have a consistent game plan against a character. Just the fact that you have reversal DP and elk hunt kind of makes this match tolerable, only because you can just rob his from neutral randomly. I am kind of tempted to move Kai down here because I feel pretty comfortable in the matchup. But I think just kind of like from a numerics perspective, like just frame data numbers wise, I think Kai just edges out a little bit more on Sin, just a little bit more, not a whole lot. But I think I could feel comfortable putting it here and saying, it's probably doable. So I really don't know what Kai has that makes the matchup like go, wow, this is so difficult. Well, you know, screw. I'm gonna put him down here because I don't know. Like he's so fine. But you know, I guess what it actually comes down to, I'm gonna put him back up here. His buttons are so much better than these characters. He just has much better buttons than these characters in terms for dealing with Sin. It's just far slash is just really good. Far slash is really annoying. I'm trying to think really hard. I mean, I'm actually probably okay with putting it down here, but for now, I'll tentatively leave it there. Bridget's really hard. I don't. Bridget feels weird, man. Just the far slash shenanigans are too much. It's like Bridget's also a mid-range fighter, but the mid-range just goes into Bridget's favor a little bit more. Basically, right? Like a knockdown from Sin is not as strong as a knockdown from Bridget. Assuming that, you know, Bridget gets in the proper positioning, right? You know, getting a yo-yo set into, you're gonna have to hold mix for a little bit. And the thing about like Sin mix-up, right? Like especially with the Bridget matchup, Bridget has a DP, so like Bridget can actually just force her way out of the situations, right? So like, if you think about it that way, right? Like Bridget can kind of get basically when these two characters like take their turns, Bridget just takes it a little bit better than Sin does. Right, and she probably has the better neutral. So like it's just like a little bit you just feel like you're falling behind when you fight this character. Of course, you know, you like once you have meter and stuff, like there's a lot of direct responses you can do to the character, you know, to kind of deal with it. But I just feel like there's not an easy situation to stand on, right, for Sin. And her 2P is just really, really good, and it just has a really non-committal way to just kind of stop all of Sin's shenanigans. Axel! 2K. This move just ruins the character. I mean, by the time I think what it is that by the time that you do get in, you're dealing with a move that just beats like 90% of your moves. That it feels bad. But it doesn't. I don't like if I could do it like. I did it! We were right. We were right to do a tier list to get to 700 followers. We did it! We did it! That guy is a dude. It's also 5 frames. The fact that like the thing about it that's really annoying is that if you're not directly on top of Axel, a lot of Sin's buttons don't actually hit low, right? The list were I don't believe it. Thank you. Thank you. So like that's like the thing, like what it comes down to is that what's up, Martin? It's good to see you. I was thinking about you, buddy. I hope you're doing good and taking good care of yourself, man. My other Canadian homie. So when you fight Axel, yeah, it's like by the time you get in, it's just that 2K is such a nuisance to deal with. Like don't get me wrong. I'm doing very good. We're making a tier list so I get to 700. I saw Faust outside of a bottom tier and was morally obligated and is what we were doing. Alright, oh, we're doing a matchup chart for Sin, but the order is a little bit weird. Yeah, exactly what Doug is saying. Like, it's the fact that it's just that there's so I thought I made a kind of a point about this when I made the Sin guide video, is that like a lot of Sin's moves can actually be 6P'd, but it also means they can also be low profiled. And so why Axel's is more of a problem than Testament's is that the ranges that they do it in are just a little bit different. Of course, like I don't know. Just trust me on it, man. It's not great. It's not great. Like, I probably could show it better. Plagalicious. Yeah. So yeah, we're doing a matchup chart for Sin. I just said that earlier, but like, we're almost done. We're at Johnny and Ram. I don't know if like. Don't half of Sin's moves whiff on 2-6 Faust? Yeah. But I still have 2S. So it's like it's not like I have to use Far Slash. And then like, because I've never actually, no, you bring up a good point though, Plague, because like in theory, Faust should be able to do the same low profiling bullshit that, well, no, because what happens, the difference between like getting low profiled from Axel versus Faust is that Faust can't low profile an attack. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's that. And so it's the same reason why Testament's no longer an issue. It's because like the interaction that Faust has to take against Sin is it's not great. Like I can make it in my favor versus like that's kind of what it is that like the interaction is not in your favor. You have something you can do, that's something I have to be mindful of, but the interaction is usually in my favor if I'm right. And like typically you're getting like a jab combo or something. I mean, it depends too, because you could like in theory jab me out of like a better like a hoof stomp or something. That could be really bad, but that's true across the board. But you can't really heal. I don't know what you would low profile from Sin, right? Like if I do 2S 2H or I just do 2H, like I'm running my mix up from all those buttons, right? And then at that point you have nothing to do. You can't crawl underneath any of the mix up. What's BCE stand for? or 2D or 2H. I mean, those are all standard issue, like, keep out moves, and those are fine. But I feel like 2H is pretty slow. At that point, I could probably get away with also using L-Cut on you, right? Also, 2D and 2H are also, they lose the Hoof Stomp. Oh, is that the super? That super sucks. I'm so sorry, like, that super is just garbo. That super is so bad. I'd never, ever worry about that super. It's just too slow. It's just too slow. I mean, like, whenever I play, I'm like, oh, okay, you did it. If anything, I make my moves worse in order to hit it. That's what I do. Because I know, like, a lot of players like to do, like, PRC with it. So I just start doing delayed meaties or whatever to beat it. It feels good. So, yeah. I'm calling it out. Like, I can't remember the last time I got hit by... I can't remember, like, the last time I got hit by that super. Anyways, alright, so Ramlethal's dumb. Just... It's really good punish on overextended combos. Like, I don't overextend. You know what I mean? Like, I thought, like, I don't even think about it. I really don't. I'm gonna go to Ramlo. So Ramlethal, I really don't know what to do outside of press 6P. Typically, remember how I was saying that you typically could have, you always have L-Cut as an option to kind of like control the game. That doesn't work against Ramlethal. Far Slash just beats it. And that's just really stupid. It's really, really stupid. If they made it so you could just low profile by Ramlethal's Far Slash, I think the game would be completely different. But it's not even necessarily true because like even if the Ramlethal players don't like use Far Slash, they could do Scar Slash, and it would probably be the same problem. Like, it's the fact that any of your buttons go into a they like from like a little bit further than mid to half screen. They all go into some kind of knockdown scenario. Not really a knockdown. You know what I mean? It gives like it gives her momentum. And she's still pretty cracked. She's really annoying. She's really, really annoying. She didn't really get nerfed in season 4, right? I don't know what they hit her with. Yeah, her buttons are unfazed, so she has just better buttons. Her damage is still... She got the rock move, yeah. Yeah! Oh, yeah, I guess that means like she also lost player interaction because of that. Yeah, wait, did Rekka get the nerf where it doesn't hard knockdown in this version of the game? I don't know if it was this season or not. I can't remember. Well, anyways, yeah, it's pretty... Because you gotta play this game using, like... Because L-Cut doesn't work on Ramlethal, you have to use your buttons, right? You have to use Far Slash. Your Far Slash is not as good as Ramlethal's Far Slash, so it's hard to compete at neutral. So I don't know. You can't really stay ahead on her. Okay, last one, Johnny. I feel like this character's still growing. Not really growing, but I think players need to grow more. I should go fight Peppery or something, but like, the thing that makes me like a little bit annoyed is that once players start to confirming the random counter hits he gets from Far Slash or whatever, I think he'll be a lot more terrifying. That's why I kind of did this as a presumption. Like, instead of putting him here, I'm going to assume that Johnny's players are going to get better, and then the matchup is just not going to be as complete. Far Slash being, I think it's 9. I want to say it's 9 frames. It's fast enough that it can always check L-Cut, so you kind of have to be careful with it. So you still have to use it, but I would say out of the characters that are up here, though, he's probably the weakest of this whole set right here, in terms of like matchups that I think that Sin loses. I think Johnny, he is the one that he loses the least to. But can Sin deal with zoning well? Yes and no. So like in response to like zoning, what do you mean though? Like keep out? It's not that like I mean keep out still exists for him, right? But the thing is he has such a far range to fight in, right? Like remember he has Elkite and he has Far Slash to like, so he doesn't have to get really far, right? And remember that I actually I say that he has Far Slash, Elkite, and Beak Driver for a mid-range control, right? So like when you're a zoner, typically you're kind of just getting like little stray pokes here and there. Whereas if I start betting with my bigger button, like my buttons, like especially if I start throwing out Beak Driver, think you kind of zoning? No, he does fine. He, like I said, like he just the range that he fights in is good enough that he doesn't have to be zoned out for too long. It's not like I have to get really, really, really close to you, right, in order to get going. And don't forget too, like the points that happens too is that if Sin ever gets 50 meter, he can RTL you. Like he has a lot of ways to like just kind of counter zoning at a certain point. All the meanwhile, he still has his kit. I think if there was a zoner that also automatically dealt with Sin's Elkite, it would be a little bit different, right? Actually, in a sense, Testament would do that with like 236, like the H Grave Reaper or Slash Grave Reaper. But this matchup is a little bit interesting because you just kind of like the ranges that you want to, you could just have you could kind of just stalk Testament and see what he's doing, right? And whenever you see a Grave Reaper, you just air dash hard slash him. Alright, so let me talk about this real quick. So it's probably closer to like this. It's actually probably worse than that because I still think these are probably the best characters in the game. Okay, I think this is a little bit better. So like, okay, all right. So let's explain this again because we kind of retooled this whole thing. So basically, these are the matches that I believe Sin beats. These are the ones that I believe are even. And then these are the matches that I think are slight disadvantage for Sin. And then this whole sector right here, I actually enjoy these matches for me personally. I think they're a lot of fun for Sin. Right? So because they're fun for me, I don't think they're bad. I mean, I would want to say they're like probably like in between here. But I think this is probably fine. Just know that I think Happy Chaos does typically win a little bit more. I personally don't seem to lose the Jacko very often. And then I just don't fight really strong Zato Jackos or Asukas or Happy Chaoses very often. And even when I do, I feel like it's not impossible. I feel like it's very, very doable. But that's more of a mindset thing that I have, right? Like numerically, it might be different, right? Like if there were actual like raw numbers, where does Sub-Zero sit here? Oh man, Sub-Zero would just be the face image of them all. What's up, Totsugeki? We got to 700 followers today, all thanks to Plague and QK. I'm actually, it was like a small goal. I don't usually have a lot of like follower. I don't usually ever do goals. I just stream randomly. But like, I was just like, I'm really close to this. I think maybe I'll get it. Anyway, stop. But yeah, that's sidetracked. So yeah, this is like just my thoughts on the matchup chart for Sin. I'm playing in 5-6 and Flash Sticks right now. What is that? Do you guys have any questions about a matchup specifically for Sin? Before I go ahead and turn this off and put it on YouTube and be like, I'm farming content. I don't know. Hey, Knock, are you here? Knock and Doug, what do you think about this? Does this look right? So I made it to winners finals. Oh, should we watch you play? You hate Nongo? I don't feel... once you get better with Sin, um, once you learn how to play Sin, you don't really have to worry about Mega Fist. Like Mega Fist is like such a non-answer. Give me the link. Sasageki will cheer you on. We'll love Bashio. Oh, I don't see how Sin deals with some items. I apologize for foolish questions. Um. I mean, the items aren't that great in this game, right? Maybe it's because I'm so used to fighting like old school Faust, where the items are the fucking end of the world when they happen. I have a TA beta code. Are you hooking me up or what? Is it my time to shine for Tekken 8? Were they limited, Bashio? I would have applied if I thought about it, then, but I'll probably wait till release. I'll stream Tekken 8 when Eris streams Tekken 8. That's how I see it. But yeah, that's it. Okay, that's it. That's it. I'm gonna stop my recording of this video because it's been too long. No one had any questions because apparently this list is perfect. Of course they are, because, you know, I'm fucking a god. Child labor.